guys, and welcome back to the College Realness. I am Takia and I am your official college tour guide. So let's jump right into these 10 survivor tips that you will need for school. First things first, tip number 1. Do not purchase your textbooks from your school bookstore. I repeat, do not purchase your textbooks from your school bookstore unless you have to. Like, you literally need to, like, there's no other way to get this book other than in the bookstore, okay? You're a college student. We like to save coins because we're college students. We're broke, okay? So, other alternatives of getting your textbook is check.com, Amazon, or from other students that have taken the exact same class and needed that exact same textbook, but just so happened they bought theirs for the bookstore new and they can't sell it back. Get the book from them. Now, I tell you this because the school bookstore is a lot more expensive than getting them on those other sites. I will show you here an example of a book that I had to get and the school was charging like crazy amounts. And a good thing about it is at Chag, you can also rent your textbooks and you can send them back. So I recommend books like English that you may need for like English 101 or 1101 or 1102 or any math textbooks. If you're not a math major, I would recommend you to rent those books instead of buying them because you will not need them. So just go ahead and rent them, and so you can turn them back in. Just give them back once you're done with the course. Now, books as if you're a nursing major, books like human anatomy or chemistry, something that you may feel like that you may need to go back and look at in the future to help you pass any exams such as TEAS, entrance exams, and things of that nature. I recommend you keeping them because they will be helpful for you afterwards. When you need to go back and review the material, you have the official hardcover book with you. Alright guys, so tip number 2, make sure you take your class, like say if you need, I'm going to use English 1101 as the class, like if I'm relating to the class. So say if you need English 1101 and your friend also need English 1101, make sure y'all take that class together, same professor, same time, everything. Because I'm telling you, what one did not get from the class, the other will get and be able to help, you know, y'all be able to help each other. And so say if somebody missed the class, you could just know, that you can go to that person and be like, hey, what did we miss today in class? You know, just to fill you in, because not everybody is friendly and want to share information, especially if you missed the class. You may have a teacher who just don't care to go back over the information with you and make you figure it out yourself. So to avoid all of that, honey, just make sure you and your friend are in the same class as much as you can, or you and somebody that you know, and y'all work something out that way, because hey, that's what worked for me and a couple of other people. We stayed together, honey. Tip number 3, make sure that you try your best to get notes from previous students who was in a class that you're currently in now or going to be in. So if you know that you need English 1101, make sure that you connect some kind of way with somebody who had English 1101 last semester, so that way that you can get those notes. Make sure it's the same exact teacher. It doesn't have to be the same time, none of that, because of course things change over the semester. So just make sure it was with that same professor, and just try to ask that person if you can get their notes. We did this a lot of times in school. We would pay people like, hey, you got the notes, you got the like study guides, stuff like that. You want to make sure that you try to get your hands on, so you know exactly what the professor is looking for, and how to study. And it also gives you an additive bonus because you already kind of know the information if you do what you're supposed to do and go over that information that was given to you. So how I did it was me and a couple of my friends, what we did was we made Instagram posts or Snapchat posts, and we would post them, you know, hey, did anybody take let's say Miss Young English 1101 last semester, and we would tag the school, at the school, well, don't at the school, just put hashtag GSU 18, hashtag GSU, you know, like that, and people will see it. And if somebody did, they'll like it, or, you know, send you a message, and you just get the information through that way. Easy. Social media. I know, it's just so easy to connect with the world through social media, so use it to your advantage, honey. Tip number 4, I recommend this for anybody, not only a college student, not a person in school, like anybody throughout your life. Get an agenda. Use your agenda. Use it. Like, it's so simple, guys. Y'all think it, like, you would think it's so hard to keep up with an agenda, but I'm telling you, that agenda will organize your life. Because it's in college, depending on like what kind of professors you have, some of them believe hardcore on giving you a syllabus, and you need to make sure that everything on that syllabus is done on the date it says it needs to be done. If you get an agenda, you can write everything in. What I like to do is, I like to say, if an assignment is due on the 16th, I will write in my agenda that it's due on the 14th, to make sure that I'm well aware that it's due, and make sure that I give myself enough time to finalize everything, and I know that I need to do it. Like, I need to come up, so by the 14th my work is done and it's turned in. Okay, so get you an agenda. It organizes your life and your thoughts, honey. Okay, so get that agenda. Number 5, go to your professor's office hours. Every professor has office hours, no matter what campus you go to, no matter what school you go to. Every single professor has office hours, and they are there for a reason. Okay, if there's something that you did not understand in class, go to that professor and sit down. You can make an appointment. Some professors do it by appointment, some people do walk-in. It all depends on your professor. Go to their office hours and talk to them. Not only does it show your dedication to try to understand and learn the material, your professor will also get used to you and know you. And so when it comes down to it at the end of the semester, and you hanging on with an 89 or 86, or not 86, or 88, and you need that 90, they'll remember you and they'll boost you up to that 90, you know, because you've been showing that you're really trying and you're dedicated, and you know they will work with you. So it's not kissing butt, but girl, call it what you want to call it. Hey, we got to get up out of there in 4 years. Okay, and I'm gonna just tell y'all real quick. So I was going to one of my professors' office hours. It was for, I can't remember the class. I cannot remember class. I was going to my professor's office hours. It was like a critical thinking. I think it was critical thinking, yeah. And I was going to his office hours, you know, just to say, hey, you know, just to make sure that I'm understanding this right. Is this, that, and the third, you know. And I actually missed my final exam, y'all. And I thought it was like an hour after it was scheduled to be. And when I went to the class, nobody was there. I checked my grade for that class, and it was a straight F, y'all. I had to go to his office, and I was like panicking, and luckily, I ain't gonna give y'all too much, but I missed my final exam. And because I was showing up in his office hours regularly, and he knew me because of my dedication and me coming to him to make sure that I understood what we were talking about in class, he looked out for you, girl. So use them office hours, honey. Tip number 6. Most of every college and university has a free tutoring center. I'm pretty sure all of them do. Shoot, even the ones on TV has tutors. So make sure you use that to your advantage. You're already paying for it. Okay, so along with going to your professor themselves to further grasp the concept, you know, you only have a certain amount of time to, you know, try to communicate with the professor, as there's other students behind you who also want to communicate with the professor. Go ahead and use those free tutoring service. You can have an appointment with a tutor for as many times as you need to make sure that you understand the material, okay? So guys, college is not designed for you to fail. There may be some hard courses, but there are stuff in place to make sure that you pass, okay? Tip number 7, make sure that you have study blocks. Again, in that agenda, make sure you have a day, or you have detailed that, hey, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm going to study. And you need to make sure you break down what you're going to study, from what subject, and what page numbers you need to be reading, stuff like that, guys. Just make it as easy as possible on yourself. I'm telling you, that's like the number one thing. People make college too hard on themselves, but it can really be so simple, and it will not stress you out if you follow these simple 10 steps. I promise you. So you can either have a study day, probably like on a Wednesday if you don't have too many classes, or whatever day you don't have a lot of classes, or whenever you see fit in your schedule. I wouldn't say like the weekend, because that's not realistic, and I'm being as real as I can with y'all. The weekend is not realistic. Fridays, you know, you're going to be too turned because Thursday night you partied too hard. Saturdays, you're going to be not able to do anything, okay? Sundays, you're going to be preparing for Monday. So that's just me personally. The weekend just did not work for me. It doesn't work for a lot of students for that simple fact. But whatever works for you, you need to find it and make a study block for you to get the material in and make sure that you understand, honey. Tip number 8, since we're talking about studying, make sure you find your study routine. See what works for you. Are you someone who needs to rewrite something where you can understand, and the more you write it, the more you remember what you're writing? Or do you need to go back and listen to the lecture, and are you just an auditorial person? You know, whatever works for you, do that for you for that subject. Of course, with math, you're going to practice and practice and practice, or you may be the person who just needs to remember the steps. Anything that works for you, you need to find that study routine, that study technique that works for you, and apply it to every single class that you take in college, okay? Tip number 9. Please, guys, do not lose your student ID. Like, this is off the subject of like educational wise, but child, do not lose that student ID. With a lot of schools or in campuses, your student ID gives you access to everything, okay? If you have a meal plan, it gives you access to eat in the cafeteria. Some dorms gives you the access to get inside of your dorm and your dorm room. Like my freshman year, my student ID was my key to my dorm and my dorm room. Without that, I could not get in. Also, my current school, my student ID is my refund, okay? My money comes on there, okay? So you need that, honey. And if somebody else get a hold of it and the refunds done drop, they're swiping away your money, honey. And it also costs to replace it. Again, we broke, we college students, we ain't got no money, so don't lose it. Simple. Just don't lose it, guys. I promise you, do not lose that dang on student ID, honey. That's your whole life. I mean, you can get it replaced again. You just gotta pay for it, and nobody wants to wait in line at card services but honey, if you gotta stay out of a line at school, financial aid, housing, card services, if you can stay out of a line, stay out of the line, okay? So that's that. And last tip, number 10, it sounds easier than what it actually is do not stress. Okay, yeah, I said it. I know. I stress myself, but hey, now I know. Do not stress. If you follow those 9 steps that I just laid out for you, you should be perfectly, not you should, you will be perfectly fine. If you stress, you know, you can have a real breakdown. Not only are you away from your family and your friends that you know, but it could just be a hot mess. So just don't stress, guys, because we don't want that. We don't want you to go into a breakdown and then you be depressed, and it's just not good. Okay. Find something that you like if you like doing makeup, you like doing yoga, you like playing basketball, make sure you make time for those things, just to make sure that you have something to take your mind off of school for just a second, because again, like, you're living on your school grounds, so all you know is school, 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 school. You need something to distract you, to make your thought process slow down just a little bit and relax, hunty, so you don't get too stressed out, too worked up. And that wraps up all of the top 10 survival tips that I have for you. Again, guys, if y'all follow that, you will be perfectly fine. Just take each day, day by day, test by test, homework assignment by homework assignment, quiz by quiz. Do not look at it as, oh my gosh, I'm here for 4 years, or oh my gosh, I'm here for 2 years. No, I promise you that will make time just drag, drag, and drag. Just say, hey, let's get through this homework assignment and we're good. Homework assignment knocked out. Hey, let's get through this test and we're good. That's how you need to think about this thing, because I'm telling you, if you think about it as 4 years or 2 years, whichever one you choose to go to, a 2 year or 4 year, trust me, it's going to be a headache and it will drive you crazy. So again, just take it day by day, test by test, homework by homework assignment, and you should be good. So those are your 10 survival tips for school, and I am signing out here, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell because there are more videos coming for you. Okay, see you soon.